And how old was he?
My age.
Okay.
I said, all right, you got that. I said, okay. I went back in my car. I went to Vinny. I told Vinny. Vinny straight goes, yo, kill him when you see him, just like that.
Nope.
Like, kill him when you see him. I tried to blow his head off in broad daylight with a 357 snub by my social club in broad daylight in front of everybody. Street, man. You know, it was hard for me to do what I did. I had a lot of respect, man. You know, the guys talk on the internet, but the real me, I looked out for everybody when they were in jail. I did a lot for people, you know. So when they see me, they don't on me. And they know I'm a nut. You're not going to just abuse me.
Correct.
We're fighting. Like, you're going to get a fight out of me if that's what you're looking for. You know what I mean? So that's how I carry myself. Other than that, I'll laugh with you all day. We'll hang out, party, have fun, you know?
Yeah.
We were asking them questions because we're like, yo, you stole $10 billion, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I said, so what kind of car were you driving? He said, a Toyota Camry. I said, what kind of watch were you wearing? He said, an Apple Watch. I said, what the did you steal? I said, this supposed to have like a gold yacht.
Yeah, right?
What up, guys? You might be wondering why we're both wearing sunglasses today. It's in honor of the Hollywood superstar we have up next, Mr. Gene Borrello. We are keeping it gangster, just like Gene, as all his videos blow up on YouTube, so we're trying to get in Hollywood mode just for him. Ross, take it away.
The man, the myth, the legend. He is alive and well, and he is thriving. I got nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Money, Loyalty, Legacy Podcast. My name is Matt.
And with your boy, the champ.
And today we have another special guest. He's been here before. He is a best-selling author, a social media star, former enforcer of the Bonanno crime family, soon to be a film star, an all-around amazing, incredible superstar media personality. His name is Gene Borrello.
What's going on, guys?
What up? What up? What up? Just so everybody knows, Gene said it was cool that we can talk to him about everything, right? Anything goes. And last time we were pretty lighthearted with the interview, right? This time, like, I got to hit you with some actual kind of hard-hitting questions this time around, like some serious shit. And I'm not trying to piss you off. You're not going to get mad or anything.
Not at all.
You promise?
Yes.
Man, this is a tough one.
Just do it.
Okay. So you know the fist, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you see like a fist, like if you make a fist, for a lot of people, it's like a warning, right?
Right.
Like if you take the fist, you like make a fist for the camera, show the camera, and like hold it to the side,
Right.
and like go up like that,
Right.
and now you're at the Jersey Shore, right? Is that a real thing?
I've never done that.
So just so everybody knows, like back when we were in college, like Jersey Shore came out and all that. Like the gym tan laundry, all that
we
stuff.
hated them, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's where we're going with that. Bro. Because like everybody, like when we were in college, we were in Michigan, right? Everybody was doing the fist pumping. People had like the blowback hair and the
not us.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like that wasn't really part of your guys' thing, though, right?
Listen, it's crazy because so many people say, "Oh, you got the Jersey accent." I says, "No, we don't. This is the Brooklyn Queens accent." I says, "Yes, it's not Jersey Shore. We have nothing to do with that. We don't wear gel, spikes, and fist pump and break dance." They say. No, we're carrying guns, masks, and friggin' Yankee hats. All right, we're totally different.
So that pissed you off then?
Oh, we hated it.
Right.
Really?
We hated it.
So there was nobody doing any of that kind of stuff?
In our area?
No, nowhere.
Imagine a mob guy hanging out with Ronnie and Vinny with spikes and dancing. He'll tell me, kill this guy, please.
Wait, just even like your friends growing up or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody was
when we were younger, maybe 16, 15, everybody was like, you know, maybe something of that nature, but never to the point
orange,
of that.
Like
that's just insane. I would never. Yeah.
So just so everybody knows that was fake.
Yeah.
Like it's not real Italians, you know.
There's no such thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of the Jersey Shore cast members aren't even Italian.
Right.
You know that, right? Most of them aren't even Italian.
You had mentioned that.
Yeah.
So who isn't? None of them are?
Only like 3 of them are actually, and half, not even full Italian. Most of them are Irish on the show.
Okay. What do you think about that dude, the situation? Did he piss you off?
Yeah, honestly, like now I like him because I see him now as a person. When he was first on the show, I would baseball bat him in the street. Like I hated him. Like, yeah, he's one of the ones. Paulie D's the only one I'd hang out with.
Yeah,
I would straight up like hang out with him in the street. He's a cool dude. You know what I mean?
Did you ever actually run into him in real life?
I never. JWoww I ran into in Club Glow in Long Island.
Yeah,
she's a big girl.
Really?
Oh yeah, she's tall. She's up there. I ran into her in Club Glow in 2012, and I was like, whoa.
Holy
Girl, back is wide like this.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is she pretty?
Yeah, she is.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were fascinated by that. Like, what, like real Italians in New York actually thought about this shit because the rest of the world are seeing this.
I can tell you,
real.
I speak for everybody when I was in that neighborhood. Hated it.
Yeah,
because people were comparing it to like Italians. Oh yeah, your buddy, this guy doing the fit. I'm like, bro, we don't do that.
Right.
Go out to club. Are you crazy? We're not doing that. You know what I mean? So it was bad for us.
Okay. Now, as far as like the Italian culture, what would you say is a prominent part of it?
You want me to be honest with you? Our culture was more like this growing up. It's velour. So I'm going to be honest with you. It was velour suits, Reebok classics, Sergio Tacchini. Like when we were younger. You know what I mean? What else would be our culture? Italian, like our food. We're known for like, you know, pastas, you know, antipasto, you know, all our stuff, supersada. You know, that's more when I think of Italian culture. You know what I mean? For the mafia, our culture would be violence. That's what I think of. But as far as like dressing wise, we all wore velour suits. We all wore the same outfit pretty much. Yeah. Everybody had Fila velours and, you know, Reebok. That was just the way we dressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We never dressed like, you know, those guys.
Yeah. How do you stay so jacked when you're eating all this pasta?
So, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Because that stuff catches up with you real fast.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think you're okay with the situation now because you know you're over there on Instagram, you're flexing those abs.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This guy's man of steel over here now. You know.
Honestly, at first when I used to watch that show, I couldn't stand him. Like I did watch a little bit, I hated him on the show. Now he's a different person. You know what I'm saying? I seen how he, you know, he's a lot different now. But back in the day, he'd be a guy in the club. I'd be like, blindside this kid, bro.
Hey, you brought up last time. You know a story about that Ronnie guy, right?
Yeah. You know, I had a lot of friends in the Bronx, and I guess when he started making money, he got a little arrogant and cocky over there in the Bronx. He was driving like a Ferrari over there and stuff like that. Yeah, and he ran into some tough guys and got TKO'd out cold. They knocked him out cold in Bronx.
When was that?
Probably 2012, I want to say. 2013, around that time. We heard about it in the neighborhood that he's Spanish. He's not Italian at all.
He's Spanish?
Yeah, he's Spanish. He got knocked. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. None of the kids is really.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Holy.
Full Spanish.
That's a fact?
Yeah. He got knocked out cold in the Bronx by somebody.
Holy.
Yeah,
shit, man.
So he's not even Italian. That's what I'm saying.
Dude, a lot of people don't.
Snooki's nothing of Italian.
She's not?
Nothing. No.
Is that just
Really?
spray tanning?
No.
Right?
No tan. No Italian in her.
What is she?
Chile or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, she was adopted by an Italian family. She's not Italian.
How'd you find all this out?
I mean, we want to know because we're getting aggravated that we're compared to these people, and none of them are Italian.
Is this the first time it's been brought up to you?
JWoww's full Irish.
Yeah.
Vinny's full Italian. Paulie's D's half, and Mike's situation's full, I believe. That's it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think of like that represents the Italian culture the best?
Al Pacino.
All right.
Al Pacino,
I
definitely.
mean, he's the man.
That's it.
right?
That's what I think of first actor.
Yeah.
Because Robert De Niro isn't Italian. A lot of people don't know that either.
Yeah. Do
You think he is? He's not. My grandfather goes, he's not even Italian. My grandfather used to get mad. He's not Italian. He's German. He used to go something like that, you know, because he's not. I always thought he was Italian until my grandfather told me he's not Italian. Yeah, yeah. He played the roles, you know.
Yeah. Do you miss being in the scene in New York? Do you miss the area?
This era, no.
No, not
I mean,
at all.
when I was younger, yeah, I loved New York. Now it's horrible. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. My neighborhood isn't even the same. Everybody's dying of fentanyl where I'm from right now. That wasn't even allowed when we were over there.
Yeah.
If we were in the neighborhood still, right, and the mob was still deep like it was, let's just say 2003, even 2004, and we found out that somebody's selling a drug that's killing people,
Right.
we would meet him and tell him you have two options. You're going to leave now or die now. It's that simple.
Right.
Like it doesn't happen no more. There's nobody there to protect the neighborhood no more.
Yeah.
So all these kids are doing drugs with fentanyl and dying.
Why
Would
would
have
that?
chased them right out.
Yeah.
There's nobody to chase them out.
But like, why would they even pick that in the first place, knowing that it's like heroin? Why would you do knowing that it's going to kill you? You only have one life. You know
That's
what I
what I said. I don't understand it. And all my friends are dropping like flies. Every kid I grew up with that's our age, I'll be 40 in June, right?
Yeah.
Every kid I grew up with, they're all dead.
mean? Really?
Not being shot,
Drugs?
drugs.
That's crazy because like with fentanyl, I mean, you can do it once, boom. It's not
It's a
like
little
it's not-
dab.
yeah, it's not like you're smoking crack for 40 years.
Right,
It's like you hit it once and you can drop.
That's it. It could be in a Xanax.
Right,
You're
correct.
dead. You don't wake up.
It's insane.
You know? It's sick. And it bugs me out because I remember when I was younger in Howard Beach, if Peter Gotti, my co-defendant, was one of the little Gotti kids, John Gotti III, and his father was like the toughest guy in the neighborhood. Like he was brutal. I always talk about that. He was you see his black expedition, everybody, it's like Debo coming. Everyone's like this. Look. They just start running. Oh, Peter's here. Straight up, that's how scared they were of this guy. And if he even seen like a weed bag. One time his son found a weed bag, and they found out that this kid Country sold it. Country was about 6'6", 280 pounds. All of a sudden, one day, we're in the park. We see like 7 carloads of people come. They lock the park down with all of us in it because they want us to witness something.
Who's they?
Peter Gotti, Junior Ruggiero, that whole clique, the whole Gambino clique, the Gotti regime, all the kids, all the John Gotti Sr., his crew's kids. They all hung out together. Okay. So they locked the park down. They bring Country into the park. We all sit us down. Peter goes, I want you to watch something. This is what happens when you sell drugs in my neighborhood. They beat this guy so bad in front of us. We were like 15. Pummeled him, screaming, beating him. 3 men. And left him in a puddle of blood in front of us. Said, this is what happens. It's a nickel bag of weed. That's it. And pummeled him in front of us. And says, this is what happens when you sell drugs in my neighborhood.
Wow.
And then everybody's like, everybody's scared. Yeah. But that changed. Everybody started going to jail. Everybody left. It wasn't like that no more. When we were coming up, you knew if you did something wrong in that park or on Howard Beach, you were getting a beating. You were getting dealt with. There's no more of that. Everyone's just doing what they want. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's changed so much.
You know, the Mafia is obviously bad. It's a criminal organization.
Right.
But in a way, they control the area as far as keeping... The gangs go wild, right? There's drive-bys all over the place. The Mafia at least controlled the area, and they had morals, I guess you could say, street morals or rules of conduct that street gang people didn't have, right?
I agree with you, but there's always a bad seed. Yeah. There's always going to be somebody that's not going to, keep the neighborhood good, but for the most part, that's what we did, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would get in trouble. Like I said, civilians, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't pick on harmless people. That's not what we're about. Ronnie G was so against bullies. If he found out you were a bully, he was wrecking you. He'll get you beat up.
Really?
Against bullying. He didn't like that. We're not like that. Yeah, we're very against that.
So that's going to be shocking to a lot of people hearing that. You know what I mean? Because they hear about the violence. They see the newspaper articles. And so it's crazy to think that, this violent guy or these violent guys hate bullies, right?
Ronnie would tell me, like, if he found out, so you hit a homeless dude, guy can't defend himself. What are you doing? Like, he'll go crazy, and he'll go after you. Ronnie's hands-on tough guy. He'll go after you. You picking on homeless people? Do that to me.
Really?
We were like that. We don't like that. You know what I mean?
People didn't know that. People don't know that.
Yeah, it's very true. I'll give him that, man. He was so against bullying, and so was I. We're not going to pick on some homeless dude. You're going to slap somebody look cool. You know he could defend himself.
Yeah.
Go slap someone who's going to defend himself.
Right.
Go slap Chris Cagnata in the face, see what happens to you.
Yeah.
Or Bobby G or somebody you ain't going to do that. Don't pick on somebody harmless, you know what I'm saying?
Did that go with civilians as well?
Yeah.
Like, so it could be a civilian bully, but you guys would still
step in, because I remember one time I got put in a bad spot. So Ronnie's son, little Ronnie, his father was gone, and he's telling me, make sure you look after my son. He's at that age now where they're getting into like little park fights and things are happening. So I'm stressed out because he wants me to buy him street bikes. I'm like, bro, you dying this bike, I'm dead. Like, when I get you street bikes, and he wants my 750. He's taking my car, sneaking off with it. I'm like, bro, you're going to get me killed, man. You got to just calm down. Anyway, so he's getting into little situations, and he got into a fight with a kid. The kid was like 22 years old, and Ronnie was like 16, 17. But the kid was a herb.
By herb, what's a herb?
Like a punk. He wasn't really tough,
yeah.
But Ronnie heard about it.
Yeah.
That his son kind of got into an altercation. Now, I was like, listen, I got to handle it. But the kid's a herb. I feel bad slapping this kid. Because him and Ronnie got into a little situation, and the kid was just like, I guess disrespected him, and whatever had happened, and supposedly they shoved each other. But the kid was older, and the kid wasn't like a tough guy. So now Ronnie wants me to beat this kid up. I'm in a bad spot. He's by Beach Rum Tanning Salon in Cross Bay. And I'm like, all right, let me just get this kid in the back. I felt so bad, bro. And I'm going to say this to everybody. He's in the driver's seat door. I knock on a thing. His face turns white as a loose leaf paper. He knows
who
what.
You are.
Of course.
Yeah.
I says, you hit my friend's son? You can see him like, and I had to jab him in the head. I felt so bad. I literally says, listen, I'm sorry, but I got to hit you. You can't do that. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry for doing this to you. I don't want to hit you because I'm not a bully. I was telling him, but I have to hit you. You have to know people you don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
I would say, isn't that a weird dynamic how life operates? You have the mafia, but they're keeping the neighborhood safe from outside garbage. Nowadays, however, now the area no one's really manning it anymore, right? So
it's done. It's done. It's a chaos now. There's nothing like when I tell you there's no structure. Back in 207 Park, you couldn't come into the park unless you were from Howard Beach. We check your ID. You're not coming over there.
As in the mob guys? Or
No, like the neighborhood kids.
Okay.
We were like so together. We all hung out at 207 Park. That was like a nightclub almost. We were all at that park. You know what I mean? So it's just so different now, bro, you know?
Did you ever have like street gangs trying to come around like that? Like,
we had one incident where I tried to kill him.
Who?
Nelson Cruz, Nelly. I tried to shoot him in the head.
What's Nelly?
He was a Crip kid.
A Crip kid. So you had the Crips came to your park?
He was coming around. He not to the park. He was like robbing little kids in the neighborhood.
Really?
Snatching their chains, doing screwed up shit. And the kids were coming to me. I just came home. I'm home 6 months.
Yeah.
And they're coming to me saying, Gene, this kid's... I says, let me talk to him. I went to Vinny. I told Vinny, he goes, go talk to him. Tell him to take that shit out the neighborhood. I went to go see him. He like wised off. Like, this ain't the 80s. Like, you don't run no more.
Where were you at? When you went to go see him?
Oh, to Ozone Park, to the Village. Okay. That's where he hung out. So I went over to see him. I says, let me talk to you. He says, listen, all due respect. I said, you're coming into our area and you're robbing little kids. We're not with that. You know, we ain't regular white people. You know what I mean? Like, this is not like a regular white community. Like you,
right? This is a suburb.
This is a suburb, but like, this, what's in this suburb? Like, you're coming over here disrespected, and my people are getting mad. And he basically told me, like, he was with his boys, and I'm not on me. And he's like, this ain't the 80s. You just don't run no more.
And how old was he?
My age.
Okay.
I said, all right, you got that. I said, okay. I went back in my car. I went to Vinny. I told Vinny. Vinny straight goes, yo, kill him when you see him, just like that.
Nope.
Like, kill him when you see him. I tried to blow his head off in broad daylight with a 357 snub by my social club in broad daylight in front of everybody. He jumped to the ground. I thought I shot him in the head. I took off. I never shot a gun like that before. It's so loud and strong. Right. It sounded like a bomb going off.
That's like the Dirty Harry gun.
I had the snub, though, not the long. Okay. But it was still so strong. It was like a hand cannon. I remember like it was yesterday, and I was with somebody, and I got cameras all over my club, by my social club. And I'm all paranoid. I think I just blew this guy's head off. And long story short, I get out of there. I raised his hand. I almost took his whole melon off. You know what ends up happening? 6 months later, he killed a cop.
Really?
22-year veteran.
No
shit. He killed a cop. So you never know who you're dealing with. But I chased him out of there. Mm-hmm. I got him out today, but he knew we were serious.
Right.
I ended up seeing him like a month later after he did that. I was sitting on waiting. Wherever I could catch this guy, I kept saying, wherever I see him, I'm shooting him. That's what I'm told to do. I'm getting him. I seen him by the club. He turned right into me like this. He seen that chrome thing right in his face.
Yeah.
And, let us know. We're not regular people that you're going to come in our area and embarrass and abuse us, but we don't have that no more.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's gone. There's no more of that. You know what I mean? So
it's pretty crazy that somebody would have the balls to come to a mafia neighborhood and think that they can get away with that type of shit.
They think it's washed up. That's why. I know.
There's still the element's still there, though,
yeah,
right?
we were still like that. And I tell everyone that because everyone's like, oh, the mafia ain't the same. I said, well, f*** my crew and see if we're not the same. I just tell everybody that. The mob ain't the same. F*** Ronnie G's crew and see if we're not the same. I bet you'd be running for your life. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. It only takes, a couple of people to change everything. You know what I mean?
Do you think the fact that, like, the mob guys are clean cut, you know what I mean, good-looking dudes, well-shaved, well-dressed, take care of themselves, do you think the appearance factor presented to the public is the reason why a lot of people, they look at you guys in a different light than they look at a street gang with the face tattoos and all the other shit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course,
you guys present yourself differently, right? Like,
oh yeah, it's like we're not hoodlums. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have their own thing. They're not structured. They have no organization, or they're not organized at all.
Yeah,
they're just a free for all over there. They're over there just shooting. They'll do a drive by and shoot everybody but the person.
Yeah,
kids getting shot, everything. So that's not how we operate. You know what I mean? That had happened to me before by Albanians. We had spoke about that. And they made me do the same thing back because of what they did. You know what I'm saying? But we don't operate like that usually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The tattoos on our face. We're supposed to be clean shaved at all times.
Yeah.
When you're with a wise guy in a crew, you're in a restaurant, there's no beards like we have now. That's not allowed.
Why is
clean
that?
Shave. It's just an Italian thing. Their rules.
Okay.
It's the way they want you clean shaved. You know what I mean? And I used to get yelled at a lot because I dress like a little bit of a rapper. My swag is a little...
You do?
Not a rapper, but my swag is like... Not like theirs a little bit. Like they're wearing suits. The older guys are wearing suits. Like when I got older, I'm wearing like Dior. I'm dressing like a little different. They didn't really like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was dressing more like up to date with fashion.
You were just changed. You were in a different era. So
right.
Like it was just a different time.
Yeah, Ronnie, like, what the f*** is that? Like, what? These are Gucci shoes. Like, you look like a rapper. And I hear that shit. That watch you got this big bezel. What do you think? You're 50 Cent? He used to go off on, all right, whatever. Get a gold presidential, no diamonds. All right.
No diamonds.
Yeah.
It's too flashy.
Yeah.
What did you think when you walked around the city? Could you tell somebody was a mob guy based on how they presented themselves, like how they dressed and whatnot?
No, but if I talked to them, It's very easy lingo because once you catch, where you from? I'm from Middle Village. All right, we start talking, blah, blah, blah. Oh, who you hang out with over there? I hang out with so-and-so. Oh, you hang out with him? Yeah. Oh, I hang out over here. Boom, that's it. It's simple.
Okay.
You basically telling each other we're around somebody.
So you don't go places and you're like, think that guy dresses like a gangster or something like that.
I mean,
right?
no.
Or even you, for example, where you never were like trying to look like a gangster.
No,
right?
I mean in neighborhoods. You know when you go in certain neighborhoods, when you go into places, I know what's what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I can't pin somebody out by their clothes. You know what I'm saying? No.
Okay.
Back in the day, actually, in the 80s, you can. In the 90s, more.
Yeah.
More. Because they wore three-piece suits. I used to tell my grandfather, how do you chase somebody in tap shoes? You're cockroach killers all day. How do you wear these things? And suspenders. I'm like, what the I could never dress like that. Can you imagine with a baseball bat chasing the guy with tap shoes on?
We will say, though, there are guys on social media that try to play the part of a mob. There's some fat dude like Big Joe or some shit. Like, they
Which one is that? There's so many out there.
One of them, but they dress like, you know what I'm saying, like overboard, trying
You
to get
see how I dress. Look
Right.
how I come here.
Right.
Yeah, Jordan 1s, all style clothes. I would never wear no like cartoon character suit. That's not me. We call that the gangster startup kit.
Yeah.
And that's what they look like.
Yeah.
Look at the guy Ramondi I was saying, for instance. He has a cigar in his hand. It's not lit. It's never lit.
Yeah.
Okay? He has a lawsuit on from the 80s, I swear to God, and he tells these ridiculous stories, and it's like, it's outrageous almost, some of the guys they're coming out with. And they just want to be like out there and known. Meanwhile, we really been through this stuff. So it gets us mad for the real ones that really through this stuff. And this guy's talking about he killed the Pope, he did this, he's on Vlad TV talking all this nonsense. And, it gets us all mad. Like the guys that are really a part of this. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So, like I said, the ones that I know that are valid is the ones that I talk with and hang out with. We were on RICO indictments. We were on federal cases. Mm-hmm. We cooperated. We gave profits. That's the only way you could admit to murders on TV. Yeah. You can't just go, oh, yeah, hey, I killed so-and-so. I killed this guy. The feds will be like, wait, that's not solved. I'm like, go lock him up. Right. It's not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? It's either you did profits and you get coverage for all your crimes. That's why I can sit here with you today and say I shot so-and-so. I killed this guy because I got coverage on it.
Correct. Now, people do know and might not know what a proffer is. Can you just briefly explain that? So if they don't know.
I'll break it down for them so they can understand when guys are full of shit and they're not. When you, let's say, use the two prosecutors, whatever, I'm going to sit with you. We're going to sign a contract. Everything I tell you is covered, which means you cannot use it against me. So I could tell you I shot 97,000 people. I killed 100 guys. I get coverage on it. You give them the names, the details. They go investigate it, make sure it's real. You plea out to your top charges. You go in front of a judge. You have to talk to a federal judge, and you plea out to all your crimes, and you have coverage now. Then, after you help the government and your case is over, you go and get sentenced by a federal judge, and then he will sentence you. Your guidelines will be outrageous, but because you have a 5K letter, they can now give you anything they want from 1 day to 100 years. You never know what you're going to get. It's up to the federal judge. So that's why I could come on TV and say, yeah, I killed so-and-so. I did so-and-so because I already profit on it and I gave coverage. If you never had a RICO racketeering case, if you never sat with a prosecutor, you cannot come on TV and say, I shot this guy, I killed this guy, I did this, because the feds would go see where those are. That's unsolved. Go lock him up when he walks out of Vlad TV's office.
Correct, 100%.
That's it. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? So it's common sense that he's full of shit, and a lot of guys are. The real ones is the ones that are from the 5 boroughs mostly, and we're on racketeering cases where you could look us up. Even John Panisi, me, Anthony Arolata, my cousin Anthony, Dominic Sicali, Sammy the Bull, Mike Francis, Johnny Alite, Hootie. We were on RICO racketeering cases with murders, robbery, the whole 9 yards, pled out to it, and got coverage on it. That's why we can talk in the public.
Okay.
And that's it. There's no other way around it.
Correct.
Okay. Speaking of John Alite.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever go out together?
All the time.
Like, say you go out to the clubs and stuff?
Yeah. Restaurants, everything.
Break it down for people like that are listening at home. Like, are you guys macking on women all over the club? Like, they talk about like what you guys do and like
during COVID, we were doing the show.
Right.
There was still some restaurants like that were starting to open up again. So we'd be out in the nice restaurants in the city all the time, and the young women love him.
Yeah.
They think he's so good looking. Because when my mom and them were all younger, and my Aunt Connie and them, they all hung out, and they used to say like all the girls went crazy over him.
Yeah.
That he was like, all the girls, were in love with him. And it's still that way. He's 62 years old, and all like there's 25-year-olds like, yo, he's hot. And I'm like, what the
No. So like when you guys go out, are you like drinking together? Like are you macking on women? Like talk about like describe the night. Like John and Gene go out to like a nice restaurant. Or get the club.
We'll hang out. You know, a lot of people, and you know, he's a very recognized face. Like I'm recognized, but not as much he is because he travels the world and does this stuff. Right. So he's very recognized. He's probably got hundreds of millions of views on the internet. Yeah. Where I'm at like 30, 40 million, which is still a lot. You know what I'm saying? But he's like very recognized. Yeah. You know what I mean? So where he goes, people really, Johnny Eli, like they know exactly, you know, he was all over the newspapers every day when he was testifying. You know what I mean? That was like a huge trial with John Jr. Right. You know, so like I said, when you go out, a lot of people recognize it.
So people are coming up to you guys?
Absolutely.
No
shit. You know,
no shit.
Yeah, bro. I remember I was getting
pictures?
Bro.
Autographs?
Yes.
Really?
That's what the government was getting mad about.
Could you blame them, though? Honestly,
they're glorified. Like
autographs.
My mother even said they actually take a picture of what shots about it. It's sitcom out there. Like, this world is up. Oh, wow, Johnny, I love you. Shot this guy in the hand from off a bridge? Oh, my God. I love you, man. That's so awesome. Wow, you hit him in the head with a meat cleaver. Oh, my God.
There's a weird dynamic.
Yeah, though, it is. But we hurt each other, but I understand people glorify the mafia. And, you know, like it says, you know, they love these stories. You know, people eat them up. You know, they love it. And it's true stories. And they know the ones that are true or not. Every message I get is always like, Gene, you're so genuine. The things you say, like, even the guys from the neighborhood, they'll message me on the low. Yo, I remember that. You know, that was so funny. You know what I mean? So they know the real ones and the fake ones. And for the most part, Johnny Eli, and I'm not just saying it because he's my friend. When I was growing up in that neighborhood, and Hootie, you could ask anyone who was growing up in that neighborhood, people were absolutely terrified of him. Terrified of him. And he wasn't even Italian. He was with the mafia, but he was extremely feared. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you shootings, I mean, I don't even know how many people he shot. It's like somewhere in the 40s. It's a lot. So his work was known. And he gets knocked a lot because, you know, the Gotti family, they're a very big name, and they try to make him look like a liar. You know what I'm saying? So
now, when they say he was just out, did he carry himself? Because he seems like he's very charismatic.
Yeah.
You know, he's cool. Seems like, you know, his talkative and stuff. Obviously, when he was in that life and he knew that he had that presence. Right. When he was out with people, did he still joke around and have fun? But people knew, like, hey, man, I'm not going to brush this guy the wrong way.
I mean, that's what all of us. This is the thing. At the end of the day, like, we'll hang out with regular people, but then they always think in the back of their mind, well, this guy is a killer. At the end, just because you cooperate doesn't mean like abracadabra. Now you're not a murderer no more. Right. You know, okay. You know, I even told everyone. I said, you know, we still have our balls. We're just not like doing that no more. But you're not going to abuse us, and everyone kind of knows that. You know what I mean? Like we're cool. I'm super down there. You would never know I'm a bad guy until I'm mad. I'm usually just hanging out, smiling, laughing, but I'm not letting nobody abuse me. Correct. And when you try to abuse them, you'll see the lunatics come out of us when you try that. Yeah. Nobody's ever walked up to me on my grandpa's grave and says, "You're a rat," to my face. It's not been done yet. I've seen guys that know me from that past life, and they literally like this to me.
Like other mob guys?
Oh, yeah. There was one I can't say, and like I won't put his name out there. Like he literally looked at me and was just like, because he loved me.
Meaning what, though? Like, what was
like, I can't say hello to you, but like, you know,
what's up?
I loved you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like, not love, but you were my boy. Like, you know, you were a good motherfucker. I was a good on the street, man. You know, it was hard for me to do what I did. I had a lot of respect, man. You know, the guys talk on the internet, but the real me, I looked out for everybody when they were in jail. I did a lot for people, you know. So when they see me, they don't on me, and they know I'm a nut. You're not gonna just abuse me.
Correct.
We're fighting. Like you're gonna get a fight out of me if that's what you're looking for. You know what I mean? So that's how I carry myself. Other than that, I'll laugh with you all day. We'll hang out, party, have fun. You know?
Yeah. Speaking of fighting, we were talking about this as well. Did you ever train in anything like boxing?
No. So karate, a kid.
What?
I did karate as a kid.
But is that like your base of like learning how to fight? Because like a lot of guys, they don't know how to fight. I'm not just saying like, not that everyone has to be a boxer or a martial artist, but some people, they just don't have it. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to throw a punch. Like, how did you get it?
Well,
you know
I was an athlete. So I throw a baseball 85 miles an hour. I throw a football over 55 yards. I could do it for you whenever you want. So I have a really strong right arm. I don't have a good left. I have a really hard right. Yeah. So if I hit you with my right and you stay up, I'm going to pull a weapon out. Yeah. All right, so that's it. I have a hard right, and I'm willing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. Like I'm not saying I'm this great fighter, but I'm not backing down from you, and I'm going to fight you.
It's that mentality.
It's that mentality. And I am most of the time going to use a weapon. Like in jail scenarios, I don't want to take a loss. Yeah. So I'm going to use some. I'm going to try to use something on you.
What age was your first like real fight where you're like
young? Like how? 10, 11. We were fighting in school. We got a real one, but I've been fighting since I'm young.
So you came up just swinging.
Yeah, just swinging.
Okay.
And I've lost a lot of fights. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, I'll never lie to nobody like, I'm 37-0. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? I've lost multiple fights.
A lot of dudes, just regular guys out there, are afraid to fight. You know what I mean? Like, it's just in general. Like, a lot of guys are afraid to fight. You know what I mean? If you've never been in a fight before, they just go through their whole life, you know, never knowing what it's like to be in a violent, serious situation. You know what I mean? Or they don't know how to throw a punch. You know
the only one thing I can say, I've never been knocked out.
Yeah.
I've been dazed. I've never been, like, snored.
Yeah.
Knocked out cold. I never had that. Not even in jail.
Even when you were jumped?
Yeah, never been knocked out.
How did you know how to defend? Like,
no, I just got lucky. I guess they didn't hit me in the right spots.
Yeah.
I was woozy, but I never was like out cold, you know, where they had to get me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. And I've seen people get knocked out like that, but
you know, in your book, you talk about how you were the leader of a group of guys in prison, right?
Right. Yeah.
How did you get to that like leadership position? And then also, was there a lot of fights that you had to deal with in there?
So look, here's the situation. When you're on Rikers Island, right? It's like no white people really. Mm-hmm. So when you get a dominant white guy in there, which I'm not really considered white, I'm more, you know, we're Italian, so the gang members respect us. So when I got in, there's like Indian guys, harmless guys, and I grabbed them and told them, I'll look after you, you know what I mean? And that's how. Basically.
How do you do that? Like, what do you mean you
So I already made a name for myself in there. I'm facing life in prison. I already did some pretty bad things to people in there. So I had the reputation. I'm sitting up for a long time. I'm facing a time. And these kids are coming in getting picked on. Mm-hmm. And I told them, listen, you're going to sit at my table. You're going to do what I tell you. Don't talk to these guys. Don't touch the phone without permission. I'll tell you when you can get on. You're in a wolf's den right now, basically. Just sit there, shut up, and listen to me, and you'll survive. You know what I mean? And that's how it happened. And, you know, I pretty much steered them through.
And this is anybody, like Indian?
Guys that ain't gang members. Because remember, it's ran by Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, gangs, and these kids can't even get on the phone.
Yeah.
They can't touch the phone. They can't sit in a chair.
And everybody's respecting your word.
Yeah.
What's the name of the group?
It wasn't a group.
Okay.
It was
in the book, you'd mentioned something, though, right? You were the leader of, like...
It was like so basically I was the only mob guy there. Okay. So like I just took control over all like the 550s, you want to call them, neutrals.
That's what
they're called 550s. That's what the gangs call them. That means they're independent. They're nobody.
Okay.
So I grabbed them all and put them with me because they were legitimately getting abused.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't go to the store. They couldn't keep their commissary. I'm like, yo, leave these kids alone. They're hanging out with me, and I took them.
So you're like a one-man army there.
Yeah, I was.
Everyone's like respecting
the gang members respecting me because I hated the Latin Kings. I hated them because they were trying to recruit Italian people. I says, bro, you're an Italian. Why are you trying to become a Latin King? You're looking for protection. I said, just be yourself, bro.
Right.
Like you're looking for protection. And long story short, I started fighting with them. One kid, I cleaned him, beat him all over the place, knocked his teeth out, everything. So they respected me for that. Now the Bloods start taking my back. Because I'm like, yo, I'm outnumbered. I need your help. Da-da-da.
Why the Bloods?
The blacks just like me. I don't know what it was. I guess it was I was a newspaper, you know, Mafia guy. They all want to get down with you, work for you. So the Bloods like really respected me.
Just because of that?
Yeah. They're like, yo, I want to work for you.
No shit.
Yeah, of course. Come on, they seen the pay making all that money.
Well, hey,
they're like, come on. Like, that's what happened with that. And then, mind you, I'm facing a shitload of time. So I don't have a conscience at the time because I'm like, all right, you're not letting me get on the phone. I'm not touching this phone. What are you facing? 5 years? I'm facing 1,000 years. I'm going to get on that phone. Yeah. I'm calling my mother. Yeah. I'm going to break the phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where it became like, yo, this kid's the real deal. You know, like he's not a slouch. And then that's how I got my reputation in Rikers Island.
What about like, you know, people see movies like American History X. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
Were you ever worried about like those skinhead Nazi in there at all, or
when you go to the feds, they're in there.
Yeah.
I personally hate them.
Yeah.
I didn't get along with them. In the state, they're not in there. In Rikers Island, if they have a SWAT sticker on them, they can't even take their shirt off.
Yeah.
Any racist stuff in Rikers Island in New York, you can't even survive. You can't. They'll be.
Were you ever worried about it though? Like just knowing that you go to federal prison?
I was in the feds and I had many altercations with them. I didn't I didn't get along with them.
Like physical fights?
Yeah, because they're hillbillies.
Yeah.
And you know, they just don't like us.
Yeah.
You know, they're totally different.
Could you break that down? Like
they got chew in their mouth, they wear like big boots, they look like idiots a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't fit in with them. Their swag is in the basement. They have nothing to do with us. Like everyone hates New York in the feds because they say we're arrogant, we're cocky, like we start everything, the styles. Yeah. So they really don't like New York.
Okay.
But we're the most dangerous car. It goes by cars in the feds.
So what's the car?
State.
Okay.
So everybody's with their own state.
Okay, I got you.
So even if you're a blood, you're not with the blood, you're with your own car.
Okay.
So all the bloods and the gangs and the Italians and the Mafia will be in one car.
Right.
Think about that. It's 400 of us, 300 of us.
Yeah.
Then you got the DC car, which is one of the most dangerous ones.
What's the DC?
Washington, DC.
Okay.
They were all killers in that car. They were all lunatics, too. But then you have all the cars, and most of the time, they don't like New York car because we're arrogant. Just our whole swag is different.
Okay.
So the white supremacists do not like us.
Okay. Could you talk about, like, describe, like, one of your interactions where shit went bad?
I'm very disrespectful when I want to be because I love working out. So if you see me come to this place at 6:30 every day in the morning, for the last 2 years, why are you trying to come there now at 6:30 and go in front of my TV when you know I work out there every day?
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that? So obviously you're looking to get into it with me. That's how you do things. Like when people are bored and miserable in jail and they see that you're happy and, you're doing your time, they try to make you miserable like them.
Okay.
So he tried doing that to me. I ended up hitting him with a medicine ball.
With a what?
A medicine ball. You know, the ones you work out with?
Yeah.
I ended up smacking him with a medicine ball, chased him around the whole thing, and then I went to the hole. And then I came back out, and she goes, "You're going to the hole?" I says, "Okay, I'll see you in 30 days." Well, worked it. Yeah, and I went right in the hole and came out. You know what I mean? So they didn't like, because I'm a jolly person.
Yeah.
The Aryan brothers, they're very miserable, and they get a lot of time. They come out of Texas. They get an asshole full of time.
Yeah.
For the littlest thing. They're in there for not the crimes we're committing. They're in there for selling weed or some. They're getting 10, 20 years, and they're miserable. We're getting like 10, 15 years for like bad shit, you know what I mean? Making real money, and they got no money. No one's looking out for them. They're like bums, so they're like jealous people, but they will stab you in prison quick.
Yeah.
They will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting, though, just being, because you guys are both white.
Yeah,
obviously.
no.
But I know it's different culturally.
It's way different,
But
yeah.
the person on the street watching this doesn't know that, though, right? Even though you guys are both white, you're Italian, obviously,
Right.
but even they say races stick together in prison, right? But in actuality, races do stick together, but at the same time, the Italians and the white supremacists, is that how you classify them, are separate, right?
See, Sammy Gravano gave that thing because he was hanging out with them.
Yeah.
But that's not really how it goes. They usually are not our friends.
Right.
They usually don't like us. We don't get along with them. You know? So I don't know where that came about, like white culture. Italians, we're not considered white in prison.
Right.
We're not. That before. You know what I mean? Because we're considered other. The gang members mostly respect us. They don't like them. And they say a lot of racist shit, those white supremacists. Like, they'll say it blatantly.
Yeah.
Blatantly, right to them. Yeah. They're really bad with it. They're not allowed to handshake with black people. They're not allowed to conversate with them. They're not even allowed to break. If they find out that you're a white supremacist and he's black and he gave you something to eat, they'll beat you to death.
No shit.
They'll put you right in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's how bad they are with it, which is, it's almost ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? But that's their beliefs, you know what I mean? So I didn't like them.
Yeah.
I got along more with the blacks in prison.
Yeah.
Spanish people, I had a problem with the Latin kings. I didn't like what they were doing. They were trying to recruit like Italian and white people. I'm like, that's not for you, bro. Yeah. If you go in that gang, you're just doing it for protection.
Right.
You really ain't loyal to that. That's not your culture. You know what I mean?
Did that translate out in the streets at all? As far as like, obviously there's guys in the joint or whatever. I don't know if you see them passing on the streets, but when you were out actively, with the Bonanno crew, were there certain gangs that you guys were cool with? Or
yes,
not cool with?
I had a lot of gang members work for me, but not like with my people, with me on the side. I would use them for things. You know what I mean? Like gang members, but I would never bring them around because my people would not be okay with that.
What were you doing, if you don't mind?
Well, yeah, they were doing scores, robberies, jewelry stores, drug dealers, stuff like that. I'd put them on tracking devices on people where, that's where they come in handy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
How did you become friends with Fetty Wap?
Fetty Wap. So I was in jail with Fetty. Fetty is an awesome dude, bro. I'm glad you brought that up.
How did you?
I love him, bro.
How did you become friends with him? Like, how did it originally start? When
I go to MDC Brooklyn, I'm going to go into a high profile unit. That's where we go into. It's going to be only a limited amount of people, and it's going to be the most high profile people in the country.
By high profile, I mean just
your case, who you are, everything. So I went in there. I was in there with the Attorney General of Mexico. I was with the President of Honduras. Okay,
literally.
Yeah, he's president. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's selling tons of cocaine. He's
the president.
The president, bro. And the Attorney General of Mexico, which is El Chapo, tried to kill him 10 times, he told me. No. And he's in jail, facing 1 million years. Yeah, and I was with him, and then all of a sudden I look over and I said, is that Fetty Wap? I see like his eye. I'm like, that's him, but he got a lot bigger now.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting cool, and he wanted to train because he knew I was training people and to work out. I
gotta cut you off. Did you walk up to him when you saw him, or
I kept saying, I'm like, oh, because at the end of the day, I listen to all the songs.
Right.
So I'm like, bro, you got good music. You're just, you know what I mean? They're like, as soon as I walked in, everybody's like, oh, that's the mob dude, because my book and everything. They, everyone knows me through the building, and plus Teddy Purse goes in there talking. He was in the building, knew I was in there, and I had called him the Impotent Don on a show. So he was furious. So he knew I was in there. So it was all over the building. And then, so me and Fetty are talking, and sure enough, we got really cool, and we, discussing. And I thought he was going to be like a gang member, like an idiot. He's actually not. He's actually really smart. He has like 11 kids. He takes care of all of them. He told me he got robbed by his record label. Like, he signed the contract because they threw $1 million in his face. And he's like, yeah, I signed. He signed away everything. He toured with Taylor Swift. He toured and made over $100 million for them. You know what they gave him? $5 million.
Damn.
They robbed him blind. Tommy Mottola and them robbed him blind. He said he made a lot of money off investments because the rap music, they were robbing him, his record label. And I started training him. He wanted a six-pack. I said, all right, I'm gonna train you. I had him train every day.
No shit.
Yeah, he was an awesome dude. Super friendly, generous, really good person.
So were you guys hanging out?
All the time.
No shit.
I used to sing his song every time I walked past him. Trap Queen. I used to mess with him. I said, that's a hit right there, bro. I used to always mess with him. Yeah, he was great, man. He was a cool guy. Yeah.
Do you think you'd keep in touch with him outside of
He got 6 years for 25 bricks of fentanyl. He had nothing to do with it. It was literally for a phone call.
Yeah.
He basically was giving money to like someone and not knowing what he was funding, kind of. And the Fed just put him into the conspiracy and gave him 6 years, which I don't even think he should have got that.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting 6 years, and he'll be on like 2 more years.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was also you'd mentioned this on another show, but there was also another celebrity in there. Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
What in the are you doing hanging out with him in jail?
He's super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I met him in there, and he stole like $10 billion. He made up that fake crypto, whatever it was. He was in there with me, and he was just so scared. I remember when he walked in, like it was his first time in jail ever. This guy's like a billionaire, and like I see there's like fake little gang. All right, so the kid that killed DJ Khaled's nephew was in there.
Yeah.
You remember DJ Khaled, the big famous DJ? His nephew got killed in the Bronx like 2015. Mm-hmm. He was in there. I didn't like this kid. His name was Jewish. He's like a blood gang member. Whatever, he's in there. He thinks he's tough. And as soon as the kid walked in, I remember he was plotting on him. They wanted to get money out of him. The guy's a billionaire.
Yeah.
I pulled him in fast. I said, oh, come on, come hang out. They already grabbed him. This Sam Bankman's going to lay in the back with bloods. Like, we're laughing. Like, come on. He's probably sleeping like this. He's probably all scared, And I ended up talking to him a few times, and I kept trying to tell him, yo, you're safe in here. Don't worry. Yeah. I knew what they were doing. They were trying to get money out of him. They were trying to tell me, yo, it's not safe in here. You got to pay someone. I knew the game what they were running on. So me and my friend Magic was a big, big drug dealer out of Harlem. He got 33 years. He was making like $300,000 a day, bro.
Yeah.
Like mega money. They gave this guy so much time I couldn't even tell you. But me and him became good friends, and we seen what they were doing. And I pulled him over. I said, yo, you're good. I said, I want nothing from you. I said,
why is that, dude?
I'm just like that, bro.
Really? $10 billion? You don't know this. $10 billion, you want to get $1 million?
I don't want nothing from him. I feel because he's harmless. You got to see him. It's like hitting a girl, bro. It's like he's so harmless. Like, I told you, in our neighborhood, we defend people. Like, the mob is not what they think it is. We don't just go after people and, like the movies, go into a convenience store. You got to pay us. That's movie stuff.
Right.
We protect people.
So you have emotions, feelings,
right.
morals,
and I'm like,
like a regular person.
I kept telling him, yo, you're good in here. Don't worry. I says, you're fine. You ain't got to pay no one. He kept hearing what I was telling him. So he called me over. And he got lippy with his mouth.
Who did? Who is
the
this?
kid Juice.
Okay.
He goes, yo, I'm trying to get money. I'm getting out of my way. And I just went ballistic on him. And he swung at me. I hit him with hot coffee in his face. Boom. I beat him a bullet place. If you see the ticket, I got it. I posted it. He's like, stop. I says, no, I'm never going to stop. And I kept getting him. And the cops got me. I went to the hole for him.
Did he hit you?
Oh, he got me.
He got you?
He swung at me first.
What did he like phase you or did you just go?
No, it didn't phase me. He was like
So you just went.
Oh, I hit him with coffee because I seen that there was a coffee cup right there, and I just cracked him right with the coffee. But I had a federal referral for that. I was sweating in the hole.
What's
for
a referral?
That's a new charge. That's an assault with a weapon, bro.
Oh, no kidding.
So I'm sweating 3 weeks later. I says, you're going to give me a new charge for this dude picking on a harmless dude. Yeah. I defend him because I hit him with hot coffee.
Right. Did you get off of it?
No, they kicked it back because I remember all the cops liked me and they came to see me and they're like, Gene, that's a federal referral. Yeah. I says, what's that mean? He goes, that's a 224 assault. I said, that's not a fight ticket.
It's self-defense, though, right?
That's what I tried saying. I said, look at the camera. He swung at me first.
Yeah.
But they said, then you wouldn't stop. You kept attacking him. Because I wouldn't stop. I was going crazy. And I'm going to the hole for 37 days for that, man.
And that Sam, how do you say it? Sam Bankman-Fried?
I didn't know how to say it. We were asking him questions because we're like, yo, you stole $10 billion, right? Yeah. All right. So I said, so what kind of car were you driving? He said, a Toyota Camry. I said, what kind of watch were you wearing? He said, an Apple Watch. I said, what the did you steal? I said, this supposed to have like a gold yacht. Yeah, right. Like, what are you doing with the money? Right. He's telling us he's FaceTime with Elon Musk, the guy that owns Twitter, the other guy, that's like his friends, I'm like, he's wearing basketball shorts every day. Like, he drove a 2020 Toyota Camry.
What was he doing with the money?
He told me,
hoarding it?
This is what he told me. I broke it down to him real fast. I says, this is your first time in the feds. I said, sit down. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to you. I says, you're the new Bernie Madoff. They're going to give you 1,000 years. You stole $10 billion. That's the worst thing you could do to the government. I says, and on top of it, they give you the worst judge. You have 8 prosecutors, and they won't give you an offer. They're forcing you to trial. When you blow trial, they're going to give you 100 years. You know what they gave him? They gave him 110 years.
They are?
He never killed nobody. He never touched nobody. Never hurt nobody. I think that's so unfair.
They actually gave it to him? They sentenced him?
His recommendation's 110 years. No federal judge will always go with the recommendation, usually 9 out of 10 times. You didn't cooperate, they're not going to help you. Why would they help you? They wouldn't even give him a cop-out. He told me, I'm in here 20 years. I said, are you out of your mind? 20 years. He says, you got $10 billion from them. They're going to give you life.
Right.
It's their money. Life. I says, you're never going to see the street again. I hate to say that to you. There's no beating the feds. They have 99% conviction rate. You don't win.
Why wouldn't you just take a plea or admit to it?
They wouldn't give him the plea.
Oh, they would.
They wanted to make an example out of him.
So
Tom Brady got robbed for like $200 million out of that.
Really?
Oh, something like that. Look it up. There's like 70, 80 million, a lot of money he lost.
If he worked with them, like worked out a deal with them, he would still be no matter what. Like say
no, but he has nobody to cooperate on. Yeah, he's the head of the guy. He's the top.
Yeah,
he's the top.
So what's going to happen to him in prison then?
That's what I said. I said it's not going to hit until you're sentenced. Like everyone says, because it's always up to a federal judge. I'll break it down. If you don't have a minimum mandatory, a judge could give you, a federal judge could give you 1 day if he wants. Up to 100 years. It's up to the federal judge. So you always have that in your brain. Oh, maybe he'll give me 10. No, he's not going to do that. You stole billions of dollars until the realization hits when he goes 100 years. And you go, oh my God, I just got 100 years. I die in prison now. In a federal penitentiary. Mm-hmm. In a penitentiary.
And what's the difference for people that don't know?
Oh my God.
Like they describe like
So a federal penitentiary is like the worst case scenario, like violence. Like you're locked down most of the time because people are getting killed in there all the time. So it's gangs. So picture you got life, I got life, triple life. He's all got knives.
Who cares?
He's all got nothing to do.
Right.
Miserable. You have $10 billion. All right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, you're going to give me money or I'm going to kill you. Like, legitimately, they'll literally have guys run down at him, put knives to him and say, Cash App. They have cell phones all over prison. Okay. Cash App money right now to this thing or we're going to stab you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
That's going down to MDC Brooklyn right now. And they're doing it to the cartel guys. Like crazy.
And that guy does not have, he doesn't have it in him.
He's harmless.
I know, so that's what's getting back to earlier. How you?
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. And they're trying to pick on the dude, and I just didn't like that, man. Like I said, I'm really big into that. Like I don't like bullies.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier. How you're like, with your guys, how you grew up in that area.
Right.
It wasn't like we're not going to just smack somebody for nothing. There's always a reason behind it. So
yes.
I'm sure we
like
see
bullies.
it. It's like this is really messed up. Like if the guy was some piece of shit, then I'm okay. Cool, we could do whatever with him.
Yeah.
But like this guy is just. Nothing.
I'm not. You don't battle homeless people. You just don't do it. That's not in our nature. I told you, my people don't go for it. We don't tolerate that.
So say he sees this podcast, right? What do you tell him?
Who?
Sam. What if
I told him when I met him?
But knowing that he's going to prison,
there's nothing you can explain to him. He knows what he's going into. He's going into. See, with that kind of time, his points are going to be so high, so he's going to have to start off in the penitentiary. If they put him in Hazleton is like they killed Whitey Bulger there. My friends killed it. My friend Anthony Arlotta, his guy, Freddie Geese, they killed Whitey Bulger in Hazleton. You know how long he lasted?
He didn't even make it through the
Not a night.
Yeah.
He didn't make it one night.
Yeah.
He wheeled in, and they wheeled him out in a meat cart. That's what it is. He went in and went out. That was it. That's how bad it is in there. They were literally waiting for him to come there, cut his tongue out, cut his eyes out, stomped his head in within 24 hours.
Now, let me ask you this. Obviously, that was a planned hit.
No,
so, let me just change the question then. So when there's fights in prison or the Fed joins, stuff like that, obviously there's a spot where you can catch somebody for quicker than like just right in front of somebody.
Yeah.
So is that what they plan?
Well, here's the thing. With the penitentiaries, there's no fist fighting. It's all stabbing. See, because these are the guys that, are never coming home again. So there's no fist fighting really. So whenever they're coming at you, it's with a weapon. And they're trying to kill you. And the cops, they don't care. As long as you ain't hurting the cops, kill each other. They don't care. So this Sam Bankman, if he ends up in like one of these crazy penitentiaries, which Pollock, Hazleton is the worst, Big Sandy, these are like horrific places where like people are getting killed once a month. They're locking the prison down because people are getting, literally killed. So imagine a guy like that going into this environment.
How did you survive?
That's what I'm saying. Even if they put him in a drop out. Now, my friend was just with the cop that killed
George Floyd?
George Floyd.
Yeah.
My friend Frankie Pasquale, he was a mob guy. He's in Arizona with him. They just stabbed him 22 times in there.
They stabbed who?
The cop.
Oh, no.
They just lit him up in a dropout yard in a safe place. It's supposed to be a safe place. It's not. He got stabbed 22 times last week.
And you were in that environment as well, right? Like at one point.
Absolutely.
And I mean, are you just in Rambo mode the whole time?
Like I said, you got to know how to carry yourself. You know what I mean? Like when I was in the state, the hardest thing for me was sex offenders because I ended up in a hub with these scumbags. Now I'm with my friends, and there's a few Italian guys with me. Frankie Pasco was with me, and they're like, "Yo, you're not in Rikers Island no more. You're in a jail. There's bad sex offenders." I said, "What do you mean sex offenders?" They're like, "Yeah, rapists." I said, "No, they can't live. Rikers Island, you get killed."
Yeah.
I said, "No, they live here." I said, "Come on, bro." They said, "Oh yeah." Bro, the charges were horrific.
Yeah.
I didn't make it in that jail 6 months. I was rolling guys down the hill. We were friggin' terrorizing people because we just couldn't handle it. You know what I'm saying?
So just you see them on site,
bro,
you beat the fuck out of them?
You had charges where child mutilation.
Yeah, just the sickest.
We had a guy from Bensonhurst. His name was Angelo Grugiero. He's Italian. And the other gangs of messengers go, "Oh, look at your paisan. He's a baby biter." I says, "Okay, watch the baby bite in a couple of days." Yeah. He's going to go rolling down a hill. I says, "Don't worry, we got something for him." We didn't make it in that jail probably 6 months. We were terrorizing them.
What do you mean by rolling down the hill?
Well, there's a hill. We kicked them down a hill.
Oh, literally?
We literally kicked them down a hill. Yeah. We literally lured him and kicked them down a hill. Yeah.
So you just walk up to me like, "You piece of..."
Because we already had we have our eyes set on the certain ones, like the real horrific charges, and like we just can't handle it. Like I couldn't deal with it.
So there's
some of them would say, "I'll get out and do it again." Like they were just like real scumbags, you know what I mean? So I was like, "All right, we're gonna give." They had a church there's a church in jail. They had the people come talk to me
about
because I was terrorizing them.
Really?
I would walk past them and slap them in the head. Walk with your head down. I used to tell them.
What did the church people come and say to you?
They're paying for their sins. I said, "No, they're not paying for their sins."
Oh, so they tried to convince you to not
leave
hurt
them alone.
No.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Are you serious? I'm like, you protect these people? They're raping little kids?"
Yeah.
I said, "Are you serious? This is what we're doing here?"
Yeah.
Said, "I'm not going to church," I said, "ever again." They're all hiding in the church.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. Was anybody else after him? Or
everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. When you find out, like, you got to be careful looking them up because if they find out you looked them up, you get a charge for that.
Yeah.
If something bad happens to them, like let's say you look them up and you put the word out and they get stabbed, you'll wear that for looking them up.
Yeah.
But we have ways around it. You know what I mean? So you could also plant like porno books on them because they have contracts where they're not allowed to have porno books.
Okay.
So the cops hate them too. So,
yeah.
Like, "Yo, I'm going to the bathroom." The cop like, "Go plant the book on him. I'll have to do a search." You go right to the hole. Put him right in the hole. If you can't beat him up, we'll get him like this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work with it. You know,
just get a cat.
So then I just could. Then they put me in green. They said, "You got to get out this jail." Like I was getting too much, and then we ended up cutting that guy Sal Giolando. He came there from my He came in and he was an Italian guy. He turned out to be a rat from my area, and I got the word that he's in there and like take care of that for us. I was like, "Yeah, we got you. Don't worry." I did that. Frankie took the weight for that and get a year in the hole. They kicked him out the spot, and then I got kicked out with the green, and green was crazy.
Yeah.
It was wild in there.
Were you ever just completely outnumbered, like bad, and you're like worried,
all right?
Because it sounds like you're just going around like, "They're with me, you guys." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
a few times. The one in Groveland, I messed up when we cut that guy. That was the first cutting in 7 years in the prison. I'll tell you what happened. We messed up the drugs coming in for the Batias. That's a Dominican gang. They want them a head on a stick. So when they said, I was in the C2 dorm, and they says, when the Italian kid comes out, tell him to come outside. I wouldn't go outside.
Who's they?
The Batias,
okay.
Dominican kid.
Okay.
After the kid got cut, we f***ed up everything. The drugs, they couldn't make their money no more, so they want me now. So I'm like, so my neighbor was a kid named Sandman from Far Rockaway. He was a head blood. I said, "Listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm dead." I go out there. They're going to fillet me up. They're getting me out the jail. Can you help me out here? I was like, "We talk all the time. I know you're the big homie. You got like 100 bloods with you. Get me out of this one, bro."
No,
Honestly. I was like, I said, I'll fight one-on-one. I said, I'm dead right now. They're going to.
What did he say?
He's like, I got you. Don't worry. Because he liked me. Like you said, they like the Italian dudes. That's why I really respected him. He could have told me to go myself, and I got to walk out there because I wouldn't check in. I wouldn't check in. Sign in to PC. I wouldn't do it. My pride. I'm still a mob guy. It goes back to the street. Yo, Gene signed in. That's it. You're looking at the now. So I wouldn't do it. I'm like, I got to take a beating because I'm not signing. So I went to Sandman. I was like, yo, come on. And he got me out of it. He went outside. He told me, he says, yo, you do anything to this kid, you got to deal with me and my 100 guys.
No kidding.
He goes, he did what I did for his people. If you were told to do something for your people, you're going to do it, right? So what's the difference if he does it?
Okay.
And he put it to them like that. But remember, we didn't have many people there. You know what I mean? So we were outnumbered. And that's how I got out of it.
Yeah. Was there anything else like that before it did like kind of politics?
I actually gave this story on TikTok. We were at a place in Middle Village called La Q, and we were beefing with this kid named Duke. Duke is on FBI's most wanted list. He's one of the most dangerous Albanians to come out of Queens. And he didn't like the Howard Beach kids. And we were over there, and he pulled out a knife from all of us. And he's with all his boys, and they all got weapons. We got nothing on us. And he goes, I'll kill all you Howard Beach. And he has the knife in my friend's face. And they all got guns. I'm like, yo, we're dead right now. Because we didn't even know they were going to be there. I'm sweating. I'm like, yo, we got nothing on us. They're going to kill us right now. Long story short, they end up not. What'd we do? I'm like, all right, let's go to the car, come back. Went back. We had shotguns. I went back. I said, load up. We're going back. These just heard us out. Because now the same sense I was scared to death. And now I'm like, yo, we just got punked. Everyone's going to know about this.
Correct.
Go to the car. We ran back to Howard Beach, came back. Listen to me. We had all kinds of shit with us. You know what I mean? We ran in there. They were gone. Because I'm like, we got to do something now because, we just got abused. He abused us. And I say that openly. Like, one thing about me, I just told you, I keep it 100. I don't make myself look like God because I wasn't. This kid was dangerous. And I told him, I said, yo, this kid's going to kill one of us right now.
Were you in the life at that point?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. So that's going back to the street. Yo, they just got punked out. So I'm like, yo, we got to load up and go back to this place and do something.
Okay. So that's you were full on in the life at that point.
Yeah.
And wow, that's a crazy story. The fact that
he's on FBI's most wanted. This kid was notorious. He stabbed like 30-something people. He's ABI Mafia. This kid's notorious, known. We ended up becoming friends later on. If you look him up, he's in Albania. They can't get him. Yeah. There's no extradition over there. He posts on Facebook. He's on the run. He laughs at them. He posts. You can't get him for 10 years. He's notorious.
Shit. Yeah.
Dukajit, his name is Duke. And he was like a captain for their ABI Mafia. He just hated the Howard Beach kids.
He just because of where you're from?
Yeah, they hate us. A lot of people don't like us because it's a nice neighborhood. There's money, nice cars. They're just like
hating on you?
Haters. Okay. But, we're tough guys out of there too. But he heard us that night.
So then you stayed face by coming back, and then that's kind of where it was like... Okay,
we came back, 5 deep, loaded up.
Do what I'm saying? Like, after that, then it was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, we had to have that known that we went into there and try to do something. And then we wanted him. He wasn't there. And then at least it was known because we got hurt.
Did you go hunting for him after?
No, I ended up starting beefing with Chris Cagnata. That stopped a lot of that saved a lot of people.
Yeah.
When we went to war with him.
Okay.
Because that was pure chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The FBI calls it Summer of 06. They titled it Summer of 06.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.